You and Steven are already engaged. You are secretly engaged. Dil to hai Hindustani, to you belong to a rich family. You're rich, you're super rich, you're very rich. You are bi, LMAO. Oh, and you're bisexual. Namaste everyone, this is Avanti, and if you're new here, welcome to the family, and to all my parathas and you all, so much love. A lot of you sent in some very kind, also very juicy assumptions about me, so I'm gonna take a crack, मैं कोशिश करने वाली हूँ, to react to them. So let's do it. You prefer the US to India. So interesting. Though, for those of you who don't know, I've lived exactly half my life between the US and India, but I spent a lot of my middle school, teenage years in India, and while the US will always have a special place in my heart, dil to hai Hindustani, so this is not true. Okay, these assumptions about my height were hilarious. Someone thinks I'm tall, someone thinks I'm small in height, and someone's actually pretty spot on. I am 5 feet 4 inches tall. This next assumption is very fair, and quite funny how many of you assumed it. You belong to a rich family, you're rich, you're super rich, you're very rich, you are rich, you're a rich kid. You've never ever faced financial troubles. It's not that we've not ever faced financial troubles. My dad came from a very humble background and he's an entrepreneur, though our family's definitely seen ups and downs, but it would be ridiculous of me to deny the fact that I do come from privilege, especially monetarily, and I've never had to worry about where my next meal is coming from or having a house to live or my parents paid for my education, though I recognize the immense amount of hard work my parents have put in to make that a reality for me, mere bhai ke liye. And so A, I try not to take it for granted, and B, I hope that I never abuse that privilege, and if anything, I use it as a way to share more, create more opportunities, and keep giving back. When you were in your 10th and 11th classes, you did your best and you were in the top 5 ranks always, and all you did was just learn. Someone else also said you were a big nerd in school. You must have got above 95 plus in classes 10 and 12. For better or for worse, ye sab sach hai, these are all true. I did spend a lot of time on studying in academics, but also on a lot of extracurriculars, and music has always been a huge part of my life. I was performing on a bunch of different stages in school, but yes, I did spend a lot of time studying, and yeah, it is true. Okay, the assumptions about my relationship were wild, so I would really like to clear the air, and I just want to show you the diversity of these assumptions because it's crazy. So some people think that you and Steven are already engaged. You are secretly engaged. And then there's Steven is your first and only boyfriend, Steven is your first boyfriend. You are not in a serious relationship with Steven, you are just having fun and hooking up. No offense, but I don't think you'd marry him. You're just having fun and roaming around while fulfilling your needs. Interesting. You'd shift abroad permanently when you marry Steven. I really want this one to be wrong though. Okay, let me clear the air. I am not secretly engaged. If I were to get engaged, I will definitely tell y'all. Steven is my first and hopefully only boyfriend. That is true. I have definitely had crushes and other types of situations, but no real relationship. Steven was my first real relationship and hopefully my only. And I'm definitely very serious about this relationship. I think casual dating is cool, but it's not for me. If I am in a relationship, it's, pretty serious, so that is true. No, I will likely not just move to the US or whatever. India is very important to me, and I see myself living here long term, at the very least having a very significant home base here, and Steven's actually spent a lot of time in Asia, though he's trying to make India one of his home bases as well. So while I might spend some time abroad, I'm not going to shift permanently, or जो कहते हैं लड़की लड़के के घर जाती है, whatever, none of that exists in our dynamic at all. This next assumption, you used to be a teacher's pet. You were always the popular one among teachers at school, like the sincere, responsible girl, but not that popular among friends, even though you were liked by all. As much as I would like to say I was not, I probably was. If you asked my classmates, they'd probably say I was a teacher's pet. And this friends thing is pretty true. I definitely was liked or respected by a lot of my classmates, but I don't know if I was necessarily popular in the same way. It's all relative. But I did have a really good relationship with most of my friends, and yeah, I'm pretty sure my teachers. I don't think it's a bad thing for your teachers to like you, but I understand yeah, it is true. You love coffee. I don't drink coffee. I think I've had it maybe once in my life. और मुझे चाय पसंद है, but I actually stopped drinking chai about a year and a half ago. I don't drink anything with caffeine in it, so now I just drink water, garam pani, and herbal teas. So yeah. This next set of assumptions is kind of interesting. You are a shy kid. You are very soft-spoken. You're an introvert. You're a quiet person but talkative around people that you love. You're actually an introvert in real life and social only through online interaction. That is absolutely not true. I was not at all a shy kid. I was extremely friendly and I am pretty extroverted. I'm not soft-spoken. Maybe it's the way I speak, but yeah, I don't think anyone who knows me would call me soft-spoken. And definitely, you think I'm friendly online, I'm definitely way more friendly in person. So hopefully I can meet you all soon and you can see for yourself. But yeah, I am not shy at all. You are stubborn. This is true. It is a fact. You speak fine Marathi. Me Marathi nahi bolu shakat. I can understand and I can string some phrases together. So koshish kar rahi hu. But hopefully that will change in 2021 and I can speak a little bit better Marathi though. You can hold me accountable to that. I think you have a wild side where you are not poised and as suave as you usually are. I mean, you're a Gen Z. I don't have this alter ego where I'm very naughty off camera. I try to be genuinely what I am on camera. I guess with some people, I am more masti wala. Probably with my brother, you know, younger brothers are very annoying, so that side comes out. Maybe with Steven a little bit, maybe with my family, but generally what you see is what you get. You are bi, LMAO. Oh, and you're bisexual. Interesting. I'm not. I am definitely heterosexual and attracted mostly to men, but I find people across the whole gender spectrum really beautiful, and whatever your choices are in your sexuality, that's awesome. So yes, I'm not, but super supportive of those who are. Your parents are not like the strict Indian Desi parents, and they don't actually care about a lot of stuff that you do. You don't know how to cook and your parents are really open-minded. They don't give much importance to cooking skills. You and your parents never fight. I would like to meet someone who has never fought with their parents. Please introduce me if you are somebody who's never fought with your parents. I also don't think there's anything wrong with fighting. I think healthy argumentation is important because it shows that you are able to express your own views. So I definitely fight with my parents, but usually comes from a place of respect of each other. The cooking one is interesting. Yes, my parents have not emphasized the need for me to be in the kitchen, you know, in the sense of, you know, agar aap bibi banna chahte ho to you have to be in the kitchen, nothing of that sort. And they've always treated both my brother and me very equally. But I do think cooking is a life skill and I think everyone should know how to cook. So I can cook, probably not, you know, gourmet meals and days on end, but I can cook. And in terms of my parents being strict, they are very strict, but they're also very involved, which I appreciate. For example, they used to be very strict about, you know, things that I would do when I was younger, but they would always show an interest in everything that I did as well. So, you know, there were both sides of the coin, and I think I really appreciated that support growing up, where I knew they cared enough to set boundaries and lay down the law, but also enough to support my choices. So yeah. You had a lot of crushes and you are not insecure about your body or image. Whew, I wish I was not insecure about my body or image. I will definitely talk about this in another video, but yeah, I've dealt with a bunch. I put up a video on bullying, which y'all can check out, and a lot of those issues do stem from there. In terms of a lot of crushes, I had a handful of crushes. There was definitely, you know, attention both ways. But yeah, I had a handful of crushes, so. You want to hold the Grammys once, and I really want this assumption to happen. That's very sweet of you, and that would be amazing. But to me, while awards and recognition are important and cool, being able to have meaningful connection with community and people like you is even more important to me. So if it happens, amazing, but if it doesn't happen, if me, my music, my content, whatever is able to have some sort of impact, that is a lot for me. You have faced many difficulties at an early age and you are really mature. This is true in the regard that I have had a lot of health issues through my life, so as a result I've had to be just very careful, and this is from the day I was born. You know, I was born with a certain condition and then a bunch of other things, and you know, I'm happy to talk about that at some point. So yeah, so I think that's definitely forced me to grow up a little bit faster, but yeah. You are an AVM alumni because you say namaste at the start of every video. If you are, then you know that's a school. So AVM is awesome. I've had friends who've gone to AVM, lekin main AVM ki alumnus nahi hu. I went to a school called Cathedral in John Connon when I was in Mumbai, and I just like saying namaste because it's a really cool way of greeting. It actually means that you are, you know, greeting the soul in the other person, and it's a nice thing to, you know, honor our tradition and our culture. Instead of saying what's up people or what's up y'all, I like saying namaste everyone. It just has a nice ring to it. So yeah, but it did not go to AVM. You hate lazing around and you always have to be productive. This is very true, almost to a fault, because productivity doesn't always mean being amazing. Because productivity is not always the best thing that you need. It's not always the best for your mental health. So I'm learning to let that go, and I feel like 2020 you have to let go and not worry always about being productive, but that is definitely very true. So oh Jesus, this last one is really interesting. So you use indiscipline as a means for justifying your modernization and relevance. I apologize if this seems rude, blah blah blah. And then when the person elaborated, they were talking about the content that I do with my parents or my family or my grandmother, for example, and you know, talking about sex or some other taboo topics. I'd like to address this because I can totally respect and understand where you're coming from, where you might assume that it's coming from a place of just trying to get cheap views or publicity. But truly, in fact, the WAP video with my grandma, with Auntie, I had literally just shot it for fun, and I had no idea it would do as well as it did. But if you watch that video, you would see our conversation was really about objectification and empowerment and the importance of education and celebrating the beauty of everything, and you know, that anything in excess is bad. And a lot of the conversations I've had further on have been around those topics. I think there's nothing wrong in talking about these topics, and in fact, it's everywhere, right? Sex is everywhere. People have access to information on illegal substances, or people don't talk about mental health. People don't talk about these important things, and to me, it is really important to talk about them. And the reason I involve, you know, my grandparents or my parents or other people in that is because I know that, you know, in India it's really important for us to have that perspective of our grandparents. And for a lot of us, it's important to have their approval. But more than that, I've been really lucky to have grown up in a household where we can have these open conversations. So if that forms a form of, if that becomes a conversation starter for you, or you can learn something from it, or whatever, if it's just even interesting to you, that's, you know, really important to me. So it's not modernization for the sake of modernization, and you know, there's a lot of talk around ये हमारी संस्कृति की नहीं है, it goes against our Indian values, but that's a talk for another time. If you think that talking about certain taboo subjects is against Indian values, then that's a whole other conversation we need to have. But anyway, that is all I'm going to say on that subject, and I'm super happy to make a video about it if you'd like. So those were some of your assumptions. कईयों ने बहुत kind assumptions भेजे, like y'all are extremely kind and sweet, thank you so much. I just wanted to try to address some of the more controversial ones perhaps in this. And if you have any other assumptions or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. And if you want to see other content like this, also let me know. Sending you all so much love, and have a great rest of your week. Bye!